Hey, good morning. This is Dale from daledarley.com and Healing Osteoporosis Naturally. And today in this episode, we are going to talk about planning, or more importantly, when planning goes a little awry and what to do about it. And to start this conversation, I'm going to tell you a little story. Every day I wake up, I have my to-do list, and I have a plan of what I want to achieve for the day. Yesterday, my plan was quite simple. Take the car, get it serviced, walk to the nearest bar, jump on a conference call that I had booked, and then work for a couple of hours, collect the car, come home, carry on working. But what happened instead was the bar was closed. So in the distance I could see a supermarket, and I knew that there were a few bars beyond the supermarket. So it was very, very hot, and I thought, well, actually I don't have very far to walk. It doesn't matter. Another 10 minutes and I'll be sitting in a bar. I walk the 10 minutes, the next two bars are shut. And then I spy what is called a Todo shop. And that basically means a shop that's full of everything. So I had my handbag strapped across me, and because I fractured my spine in January, I was in a lot of pain trying to carry. I didn't have much in it, I promise. You know what a woman's handbag is like. And I was carrying that across me, and it felt really, really heavy, and the sun was beating down. And the only thing that I had remembered in terms of sun protection, because I had a plan, remember, was my sunglasses. And I got to the Todo shop and I went in, and the first thing I spied was a rather nifty little hat. So I stuck it on my head. There wasn't a mirror. I decided that I would take a chance and I would buy the said hat because I needed to shade my head. Now that morning I had washed my hair and I'd let it drip dry. And so it hadn't been styled, it was in a complete and utter mess. And despite the fact that I had washed it, it was soaking wet. So I bought some clips and clipped all of the front fringe back. And I bought myself a very attractive leopard print scrunchie. So I tied my hair up, pinned that up, stuck the hat on, and the other thing I purchased was a small rucksack. Now I hadn't planned any of that, but it actually worked out perfectly well. So I carried on my journey, and none of the Spanish bars were open, but I found a British cafe. And my plan, so I had a new plan as I was walking there. I thought, haha, this is the plan. I'll buy a magazine. I didn't want to work at this point. I was hot and sweaty and tired. So I thought, I'll buy a magazine, a cup of tea, gluten-free cake, a bottle of water, and I will sit and read and relax and just come back to the moment. So I go in, I buy all the stuff, and then what happens is there's two rather glorious ladies who were standing by my table talking. Well, we got into the most funniest of conversations. We all swapped names, telephone numbers and emails, and indeed one lady, upon hearing that I help people write books, decided I was going to write her book. I doubt that will ever happen, but it was the most amusing hour I have spent after everything going wrong. So what has any of this got to do with your book and your plan? Now, when you write a book, the first thing that I ask my clients to do is to go through a planner that I give them. So it's a plan of all the steps that you need to go through. Now, anyone who's familiar with project management know that we have milestones, we have concurrent activities and activities that have to happen before something else can happen. But the most important part at the very beginning is really deciding on when are we going to publish. And I always ask people to think about their marketing plan before they start writing, and also to look at the product roadmap. So what else are we going to create out of this book? So we've got the book plan, and to all intents and purposes, we have a publication date. Then we come on to the outline. And the outline, if you like, is a list of chapters with the content that you are going to write about. Now, it is much more than that. So your book will have a core message. Your outline will flow through from beginning through some kind of a process to the outcome you want your ideal reader to reach. All well and good. And then we have what I call the chapter plan. And normally I ask people to just start writing the first 2 chapters, and then we'll have a look at how we can build in some kind of structure. And that's great. And we can come up with a chapter plan that says, you know, here's the title, you know, here's what the first bit is going to be. Let's say it's a bit of a story, and then there might be some exercises, some case studies, some other bits and pieces. But every single chapter maps to the core message. It has its own key message. It answers a number of questions. It has that content, and it has some kind of call to action. And by that I mean, what do you want your reader to do as a result of reading this chapter before they move on to the next one? What kind of ha-has do you want? But what invariably happens is you get some people who can write to first draft just like that, and then, you know, they have to leave it, they can't bear to look at it. And some people who, as they're writing, actually they change as a person. And what happens is they need to change their book. And really, you know, we've done all that planning, we've done all that structure. Think of yesterday. I did all that planning, I had all that structure, and everything went haywire. Well, actually it didn't go haywire. I met some really, really lovely people. Well, when you think about your book and you think about, you know, as you're writing and you get ahas and you change and you find new pieces of research, what I invite you to do is don't throw the plan out of the window, but invite in some curiosity, invite in some adventure. Because what you can do is you can come back and deconstruct the stuff that you've written and remap the book. Because if you're going to write a book proposal, you'll need a synopsis, and really you need your kind of chapter plan to enable you to do that any justice. So yeah, planning is great, strategy is wonderful. I couldn't live without my plans and my strategy, but I also couldn't live without curiosity and adventure. So if book writing is something you would like to do, and you would very much like someone to hold you accountable and help you thrash out those ideas and make sure that you stay on track and you write the best book for right now, then please do contact me. Also, I have a range of courses on the Soul Writers Academy, which is over on Teachable, and you can take each course individually, or you can enroll on 2 levels of programs. One is you get every single course for a very low monthly fee, and the other type is that you pay a slightly larger fee every month and you work through, again, all of the courses at your pace, but you get group support and group accountability. So my name is Dale Darley. I'm from daledarley.com and Healing Osteoporosis Naturally, and I do wish you a super duper curious and day full of adventure.